What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. In this one, we go over Michigan's stacked 2025 recruiting class following the big commitment from Ty Haywood as the Wolverines jump to number 6 in the country. Also talk about how important GM Sean Magee is for Michigan, what exactly he does here at Michigan. Also, Michigan adding to their recruiting staff department. And we also preview Michigan basketball's big game against Oregon tonight as the Wolverines now has a chance to be tied for first place in the Big Ten as they remain in the thick of things. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so the Wolverines got some great news this morning. Ty Haywood, the 2025 four-star top 100 offensive tackle, committed to Michigan. I already made a video talking about him today, so make sure to go ahead and check that out if you guys haven't already. We go over everything you guys need to know about Ty Haywood, what he brings to Michigan. But obviously, he was a former five-star offensive tackle before being downgraded just about a week ago. But nonetheless, he is a ranked 39th nationally on 24/7 Sports composite rankings as the 6th best offensive tackle in the class. He joins other five-star offensive tackle Andrew Babalola, also Avery Gatch, Caden Strayhorn on the offensive line here in the 2025 recruiting class, and that now brings Michigan up to the number 6th class in the country, according to 24/7 Sports composite rankings. And in Sherrone Moore's first recruiting class here at Michigan, comes away with the number 6 class, brings in the number 1 recruit out of Bryce Underwood, also racked up 2 5 stars, might as well say 3, because Ty Haywood, his whole recruitment, while Michigan was going after him, he was a 5-star, and Michigan landed 7 top 100 recruits and 17 4-stars on the composite rankings on 24/7 Sports. So a pretty dang good first haul for Sherrone Moore and company. And right now, recruiting is just humming along here. Michigan, they got the NIL backing now. They're in that game, and it's just really just a great job of what Sherrone Moore has been able to do. Not only has he made additions to the recruiting staff and gotten analysts and all that stuff and added to the coaching staff, but he also brought in GM Sean Magee, who has been a big part of everything here at Michigan, as he oversees all aspects of the recruiting and player personnel department, as well as coordinate the program's NIL initiatives. So he's a big part of Michigan's NIL, as well as the new roster limits. And Sean Magee was actually on In the Trenches podcast with John Jansen, discussed a few things, what he does at Michigan, and he said it is constantly working with what is the vision, what's the strategy to execute the plan, working every day from recruiting, roster retention, acquisition planning, and what we are going to do for the future to ensure this roster is comprised at a competitive level. Also talked about determining player value. He said he kind of used the NFL as our guiding light here, and that's the free agency piece. You have verified production, you have stats, you have on-field performance that you can directly evaluate to then lead you to what the comparisons are. Then also the NFL draft, now you're projecting based on what you believe the performance is going to be based on the traits that you've witnessed displayed at the college production, everything else. So that's the system. He said the NFL has shown us and given us the blueprint of how to do this both in free agency and in the draft, and obviously comparing free agency with the transfer portal and then recruits with the draft. He also said while it may seem that Michigan has endless resources, he said we don't have endless resources. We have tremendous resources, but it isn't a endless pot that we're drawing from that we can just go and get player X, Y, or Z. He said we're still building this thing to a fit. We're taking Michigan players, Michigan type guys. That's how this thing is built. And he also said on player retention, I'm a great believer in the axiom that your culture in any organization that is your immune system to handle outside threats, adversity, anything else. He said of course that's always going to be present, but hopefully that we can can rely and dig deep on what we're trying to instill and build here to defend against any of those other notions. So pretty interesting stuff. That's what Sean Magee said on In the Trenches podcast with John Jansen. Thought that was pretty interesting, and obviously Sean Magee does have experience. He came from the Chicago Bears, where he spent 3 seasons there, so he has experience not only now as a general manager with Michigan at the college level, but he also has experience at the NFL level. And I think Sherrone Moore did a very good job hiring Sean Magee, as nowadays in college football, with everything that's going on, NIL, player retention, transfer portal, revenue sharing coming, new roster limits, it is vital to have a general manager and a guy with experience. And then I also wanted to talk about, we did mention that Biff Poggi got hired back by Michigan officially now, as his official title with Michigan is associate head coach. So very, very awesome to have Biff Poggi back, like we talked about in our previous video, which I believe was on Monday. Then also wanted to mention that Michigan did add Daniel Litke to their recruiting department, as he will serve as a scouting and recruiting assistant for Michigan. He announced on social media, so Michigan already adding on to the recruiting staff. Michigan did lose 2 recruiting staffers this winter, so they're trying to add people to it. He does have some experience, spent almost 3 years as a scouting and recruiting intern for Kansas, and also spent 3 months in the NFL as a training camp intern with the Chiefs in 2021. So very cool there. And then also wanted to give a little preview for Michigan basketball's upcoming game tonight, 6:30 p.m. against Oregon. It's on BTN Network, and it is a pretty big one here for the Wolverines, as right now in Big Ten play, Wolverines are 3rd behind now Michigan State, who is in 2nd after losing 2 straight, and Purdue, who is 10-2 in conference play. Michigan State is 9-2, Michigan 8-2. So all of a sudden there are 3 teams with 2 losses in the Big Ten, and that is Michigan, Michigan State, and Purdue. Michigan is right in the thick of it, and they got a big one tonight against Oregon. They also go on the road to Indiana on Saturday, and then a big one against Purdue home on Tuesday, which right now, looking at the standings, it could be the game for first place in the Big Ten, I think, depending on how Michigan does here these next 2 games, how Purdue does. So that'll be a very crucial game, and Michigan does have 2 games against Michigan State still on their schedule. So the Big Ten is very winnable for Michigan right now, and obviously they haven't looked as good recently, but they are still pulling away these wins. Some players have been dealing with some injuries or some health problems, and also some illness, like Will Cheddar and Vlad Golden have been sick the past game or 2. But Dusty May previewing Oregon, he said other than Shellstead, they haven't shot the ball well recently. They do have guys who are capable. Biddle at the 5, they're not shooters per se, but they all are capable of making shots on any given night. He said they're still extremely dangerous. When you look at the teams they've beat this year and the quality schedule they've played, it's impressive, and we know we have a dogfight Wednesday night. He also said that he feels that they still have another big jump to make. We're still not clicking on all cylinders. We're still figuring ourselves out, to be honest. I haven't done a great job of defining roles, because we're still trying to figure out what's the best way for each guy to play and function within our team. And obviously Michigan had a big transfer portal haul, so that is probably going to happen, and probably be the side effects to that, bringing in so many transfers. But nonetheless, this Michigan team is talented. They sit currently 16-5 overall, and the Wolverines looking to get back to their explosive offense that they had. I feel like ever since the loss to Minnesota, the offense hasn't really been the same since then. They've still been able to gut out a lot of wins, but against Oregon here tonight, they may need a little bit more production, and I would love to see them shoot the ball a little bit better from 3. Did shoot 7 of 20 from 3-point range against Rutgers, and obviously Michigan can't have that many turnovers against Oregon. Oregon right now has been struggling, so you don't want to give them, any free possessions. Oregon has lost their last 3 games to Minnesota, UCLA, and Nebraska, so they were a top-ranked team, lost 3 straight, now unranked, but it's still going to be a tough game for Michigan, and the coaching staff, players, they know it. So another big one for Michigan tonight. Let me know what you guys think about this matchup, how you guys see this one going, and with that, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it, and we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.